All right, Joe Winberg, Bluebird, Summer 4, and we're going to do the farm again, starting from the back. And, and I tried this yesterday, but because of the direct sunlight on the camera, I think I hit the stop and go button on the phone, and it didn't really work. So we're going to try it again. Certainly a different time of the day. Yesterday was around 3. The sun was blazes on these flowers, certainly making them very beautiful. So I planted all these trees here this year to compensate for the trees that were cut down by the neighbor in the back there. He cut down about 15 trees. This used to all be like this. You see the way that is? You can't see through it. This used to be like that, and now I can see the stuff he brought in. He basically cut the trees down to fit that thing in there and swing it in. And now I can see his house and all that other stuff. He's got a bunch of tractors and trailers over here too. But who cares? It's a residential zone. He can do what he wants. You know? That's the way people think. We do what we want. We don't care. It's a residential zone. I gotta work my job out of here. But that's life in a big city. Anyway, here's a great color on the zinnia. Great. Some beets, some potatoes. This is the aronia berry bush. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. Some zinnias. Yeah. There it is. All these milkweeds. These things seed themselves. And I planted 4 in a line, Leyland cypress, 1 cedar, and another Leyland cypress. This used was there when I got this place, and I didn't cut it back. The original owners were always cutting everything back so that everything looked manicured. I'm not a big fan of that. I like it to look natural. Here's the origami bags that I put on these berries. These would be the something berries. Yeah, those would be all that vegetation up there is from elderberries, and they're a very interesting plant. It seems like the way people deal with elderberries is in the spring they cut them back to the ground, and then new branches shoot up, and I believe you get the elderberries even that year. Not sure. I'm gonna have to figure that out more. And another famous, not famous, but something that's being talked about a lot is this particular berry, Corinth and gossamer. It's kind of like a mix. And I did get a few this year. It tastes wonderful, just wonderful. And so on. See, back in here, I'll show you this. Back in here, second year I was here, second year I was here, I made this enclosure. Goes down to there. All of this. Okay, and you'll see right now there's some tomatoes and eggplants. And over there there's some corn. But I made this enclosure and it was very primitive looking, and I liked that. And I called it Fort Cumberland 1805. and I don't know why I decided to move away from it. Actually, I just thought there wasn't quite enough sunlight back here. So I originally even had stuff growing over here where these hydrangeas are. And I got a pretty good crop of tomatoes that year, but Anyway, I decided to move this year everything, pretty much, except what I just showed you, along this path where there's always good sunlight. And I also decided that I would, I'm going in here to try to show you some more beets. More beets. I'm trying to kill this zinnia. More beets over here. Okay, big fan of beets, and I did that thing with the beets. You get the beets and you wash them and skin them, and you slice them. Yeah, do you slice them? Yeah, you slice them or you dice them. You put them in a jar. You fill it with water and salt. 1 week, and you got like an excellent drink. And of course, the beets themselves are edible at that time. As you can see, I'm getting some figs here, right? You see them? Yes, you do. Nice and nice of figs. There was a large one on the trees. The other day I picked it and ate it. It was delicious, but the ants ate a little bit of it first. Now, this is pretty weird looking, right? So these are here in the raspberries, and I'm hoping that that's going to camouflage it so the little squirrels don't come in here and eat everything. So another potato plant. You notice I'm doing everything in pots because A, I don't have to damage the land by doing that. I got onions. Now I got a few directly in the ground, don't get me wrong. But definitely trying to do this by the pot. It's convenient because it is. And some more tomatoes. This is that Italian ribbed one. Supposed to be delicious. And it goes to butterflies too. It's too quick. Anyway, there's some more tomatoes. Onions. I really think I'm going to get some onions this year. A lot of times I don't. I don't know why. This is the first time I tried this kind of planting. And take a look at that cosmos, man. That thing is 8 feet high. You see it? What a joy. What a beauty. Absolute beauty. And then all of these wonderful little flowers. See them? These are all meant to attract the butterflies, who will then, hopefully some of them being monarchs, will land on these milkweeds, and we'll get another cycle of monarch butterflies or any other kind, who knows. And these white flowers, they look like flowers you might plant in your annual garden, but actually they're arugula, and they make wonderful flowers, and they wonderfully reseed. And I'm trying to show you as much of the zinnias as I can. You know, you see them all. It's very random. When I do very random, meant to look very native, very wild. You know? So that's what I like. Native and wild. When I was younger and I could move around a little better, man, I was always out in the wild places, in the natural places. Yeah. Now, even those places, they get so crowded. Yeah. What are you going to do? Nothing's holy anymore. Everything's been knocked around. Yeah, well, it's arugula. These arugula leaves are looking pretty good. We had a little rain last night, so these are probably going to taste nice. Just pop a few of those in right now. Very nice. Back here, going to start coming out. Little berry-looking things on that plant back there. It's called a lovely plant. The thing goes towards the violet, purple, pinkish kind of color. That tall holly-looking thing, that's a Japanese holly. Very lovely shrub. It's some kind of native wildflower perennial. Comes up all the time. This is another type, but it comes up in the spring. Blows something. Yeah, but this thing, that's, like I said, it's called a lovely plant. What a sight that is when it's filled. And of course, we got tomato land over here. Tomato land, pepper land, basil land. Got them all. Blueberry land, blueberry land. Yeah, I'm a great barber. Is something that you could apply to these grapes, vines, that has the bacteria BT in it. And the BT bacteria gets on the leaves, and then there's leaf rollers, the devil of the plant world. It eats whatever it eats of the leaf, it gets that bacteria, which kills it, kills the leaf rollers. And I got to keep after them because you know I spray, but then it rains, and I don't know if the spray is still effective. And the box turtles come in and they like to eat some of those low-lying tomatoes, but I let them. I'm not going to begrudge them a tomato or two. Come on. So this is a red cedar, and as you can see, it's a light blue. And then down there's another red cedar, and it's a darker shade of green. So, but they're all cedars, red cedars, not white cedars like that one. That one's a special one. I told you about it, the first farm thing. You know. So yesterday I transplanted these three whatchamacallums. These are basil plants. Come on, basil plants, and they they were all together in a 24 flat. They did real well. There's still a lot of them there, but I finally, because I collected 3 or 4 basil plants yesterday, or 2 to 3 days ago, and dried them. So I figured, let me get some more ready. And this is what happens when you don't put enough calcium something or other around your tomatoes. The bottoms rot out. You see that? See? You got to use a lot of calcium something or other, and then that won't happen. I'll put it there. So anyway, more tomatoes. It is that flat of basil I was telling you about. More tomatoes. There's that Italian one with the red ribs. You see it? That's about ready to pick. There's a butterfly down there on that impatient. You see it? See that butterfly? Little butterfly. Little butterfly. There he is. You see him? Swallowtail, but that's an unusual one. The swallowtail is, to me, it's a little unusual. There's certainly variety in them. Closer. He's got a great tail, this one. If you can see it. Great tail. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I think that'll have a different or you know, a certain category of name. Oh, the impatience. Oh, the impatience. This is a Russian sage. Wonderful smell. Now this is from a couple of very small plants that I got in Philadelphia before I even moved here, and I had them growing in Philly. They did pretty well. And I brought them up here, and they didn't do well because, wow, some critter got a really big tomato. Look at that, son of a gun. Well, they got to eat too, but that's why it's incumbent on me to get them, even though they may not be fully ripe. I should try to harvest them. Coming back here to show you another camouflaged fig tree. You see that the leaves all over the place. This is a coffee tree that I have planted in here. You see that? Shiny leaves? That's a coffee plant. I have to bring these things in every winter. But that's my cross to bear. You don't have to. You can just watch my videos on Bluebird Semaphore from your easy chair. Very nice. Okay, here's the garden phlox are coming in over here. I got them coming in back there too. You see them back there, the white and where are they? Where are they, garden phlox? Well, they're back there. They're probably in there somewhere. Garden phlox. I don't know if this is a Mexican sunflower or what it is. Daisy, Cinco de Mayo. But I'm going to examine these blackberries. Here's the way you examine them. Okay? You take them like this. You look at them, and you put it in your mouth. Perfect. I'm going to examine another one. There it is. Perfect. So, this is what I was attempting to do with Fort Cumberland in 1805, just to make it look as wilderness as possible. And I think I succeeded. Yep. It's a good shrub to use in your garden. 9 bark something or other. There's the corn patch. Yep. You see any Indians in there? No. No Indians. So, anyway, we'll move along. And, yeah, that red tomato's coming out before the end of the day. I don't want somebody coming over and eating it. So, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. This is seashore rose. You know when you go down to the seashore and you see those roses growing on the dunes, maybe a little bit on the inboard side of the dune where they get some protection, and they just fill the air with a tremendous fragrance. Just beautiful. So I finally got this in this year. This Frosty came with us from Philadelphia. Nova Zembla. Rhododendron Nova Zembla. And this is another one, Justin something. I forget the name of that Rhodey, as they like to say down here. And they're in long hearts. So these are the things that are going to get the little purple berry. First they get the flowers, and then they get the purple berry. And it's quite lovely. Crepe myrtle. There's that holly, Japanese holly up close. Great bush, great shrub. A lot of other stuff. And these things, I'm not quite sure the name again on this, but these things all self-propagated. I had them in there. Hey, it's a good time to show you. See in here? This is the experimental station. And it happened to be a swimming pool here with the previous owner. And it was on the website when they were first offering the house for sale. But of course, somebody must have came along and offered them money for it, so it was taken away. So all that was here was sand. You see it down in there? You see that path of sand? It's all that was here. A few a couple of pieces of grasses here and there. And on this side, what I like to call was in the shadow of the oaks, in the oak shadow. There were a lot of little oaks like you see here. See the oak seedlings? There's a lot of them. And the guy who cuts my lawn, he'd come back, he'd cut them all down. I didn't warn him not to touch this place because I was going to to do plant succession, which is one of the few subject matter principles that I enjoyed while in college. That, and I think Abraham Maslow's self-actualization. And that was probably in the 1975 time frame, 1979, I don't know, about that time frame, at Maslow. And although he had gone pretty much underground by then, I predicted that he would come back and he would be honored and all this kind of stuff. And it seems like he has come back because they throw that term around a lot now, self-actualization. So there you go. This is plant succession coming along. And eventually this will be just like a new forest here. And thank God I did it because it will block me from that. I won't have to look at that. Well, we've probably looked at enough for now. This is a lovely spot back here. I love it when it's got all the moss on the ground and this and that, You see, I got a neighbor over there. It's nice, whatever. But, you can't see him. You can't see me. It's a wonderful thing. Just wonderful. Rhodies in here, forsythias. Nice. Azaleas. Cedars. Even though it's shady, these things are growing. These are growing. Red maples. We got the wild, natural type of burning bush. Just a plethora of natural well-being. And listen, I like it. I pulled up this forsythia from back there, put it over here. It's just a little twig. He seems to be doing okay. It was even a pickup truck even rode over it. It's still living. This is my feeble attempt at a fire pit, but it's usable. Okay, so this is going on too long. It's going to take me a long time to upload. So, folks, listen. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of the farm. And I'm hoping you're seeing those yellow flowers back there. Yeah. So remember, the idea is natural, wild. This crowdedness, there's no weeding. I got no weeding to do. Who likes to weed? I don't. I got weeding back there. The creeping Charlie creeps all over, but it's not really affecting everything. It's affecting some blueberry shrubs I got, but nothing really to write home about. So keep them close together in pots, not in pots. Some of these are in the ground, some of these are in pots, but they're close together so there's no weeding. Now this is what happens when the grapes get in that ogangi bag, or oganga, whatever it is. Or, I know it, or something. And these are doing really good. I mean, the previous 3 or 4 years, 0. By the time they were that big, every one of them had been eaten. So, anyway, away we go. Thanks for watching. And be sure to look at this post on Bluebird Semaphore. And keep watching. I'll probably have a few more before this season comes to a close. Bye.